Eddie Johnson, known as Fast Eddie, was a standout guard in the NBA during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in 1977, he quickly made a name for himself with his speed and scoring ability, earning 2 All-Star selections in 1980 and 1981. Over a 10-year career, he averaged 15.1 points and 5.1 assists per game. However, Johnson's promising career was derailed because he was tweaking off the court. His drug addiction problems led to erratic behavior, including arrests for drug possession and other offenses. In 1987, the NBA banned him for life and kicked him out of the league. After his basketball career ended, he started moving like Diddy. He got arrested over 100 times for charges like burglary, robbery, and assault. The most serious incident occurred in 2006. That year, Eddie broke into an apartment and assaulted an 8-year-old girl. Investigators said he went into the home pretending to use the phone, then assaulted the child in a brutal and terrifying way. He was also connected to another assault involving a minor earlier that same day. In 2008, Eddie Johnson was convicted of sexual battery and the molestation of a child under 12. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Eddie died behind bars in 2020. Javaris Crittenton was once seen as a rising star in basketball. He got drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in 2007, the same year as Kevin Durant. He played as a point guard and showed a lot of potential early on, but his NBA career didn't last long. He bounced around a few teams and was out of the league by his early 20s. His downfall started in 2009 during a famous locker room incident with teammate Gilbert Arenas. The two had a disagreement over a card game that escalated to the point where they both brought guns into the team locker room. No one got hurt, but it made headlines everywhere. That moment basically ruined his NBA career. After that, no team wanted to deal with him, but things got much worse after basketball. In 2011, Crittenton was back in his hometown of Atlanta. That's when he got involved with a gang called the Crips. Earlier that year, someone had robbed him. They took his jewelry and other valuables. So instead of going to the police, Crittenton thought he was John Wick and decided to handle it himself. One night, he saw a group of people standing on the street, and with them was the guy that robbed him. So he pulls up in a car and starts shooting. But Buddy's aim was off, and ended up accidentally killing a 22-year-old woman named Julian Jones, a mother of 4 who had nothing to do with the situation. Crittenton went on the run, but was eventually caught and charged with murder. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Later, that sentence was reduced to 10 years, and he was released in 2023. Chance Comanche. Chance Comanche was a 6'10" former NBA and G League player. In 2023, he was playing for the Sacramento Kings G League team. In December of that year, he was arrested for murder. The victim was Morena Rogers, a 23-year-old medical assistant from Washington. She had come to Las Vegas to visit friends and was last seen on December 5th. After she vanished, her friends reported her missing, and a few days later, her body was found dumped in the desert wrapped in blankets. So what happened? The murder was planned. And Comanche wasn't alone. His ex-girlfriend, a 19-year-old named Sakari, was the one who set it all up. According to the police, Sakari lured Morena into a situation under false pretenses. She told her they were going on a double date and fed her some lies to isolate her. Once Morena was alone with them, the plan turned deadly. Comanche later confessed to strangling her with an HDMI cable while Sakari held her down. The reason they did this was of jealousy and revenge. Sakari believed that Morena had spoken negatively about her and Chance's relationship. There were text messages found where the couple talked about wanting to hurt her, even going as far as discussing hiring a hitman. They never followed through with that, but the murder was clearly premeditated. So after killing her, this goofball drove out and dumped her body in the desert. Then they tried to act normal, and even went out afterwards. But police tracked phone data, location pings, and messages, and all of it led straight back to them. Chance was arrested a week later in Sacramento and extradited to Vegas. He's now facing charges of murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder. Their joint trial began last month on the 10th, and if convicted, they are looking at life in prison. Terrence Williams, once a flashy NBA guard and 11th overall pick in the 2009 draft, went from highlight reels to headlines, not for basketball, but for leading one of the biggest fraud schemes in NBA history. After bouncing around the league, Williams' NBA career died out by 2013. Like many former players, he struggled financially after basketball, but instead of finding a new path, he used his connections in the league to pull off a multi-million-dollar scam. Between 2017 and 2021, Williams was the mastermind behind a plan to rip off the NBA players' health and welfare benefit plan, a fund meant to help retired players with real medical issues. So basically, if a former player gets a legit medical or dental procedure work done, all they have to do is show the bill to the NBA, and they'll pay for it. So Williams recruited at least 18 other former players, convincing them to submit fake invoices for medical and dental procedures that never happened. Stuff like root canals, crowns, and chiropractic treatments. In some cases, the players weren't even in the same state as the clinic on the bill. Every time a fake claim got processed, the player got paid, and Williams took a cut from all of it, raking in over $300,000 just from the people he brought in. But he didn't stop there. At one point, Williams went full scammer mode. He pretended to be the NBA plan's administrators. He created fake email addresses and contacted a dentist involved in the scheme. Posing as an official, he told the dentist they were being investigated and had to pay a fine to make it go away. The threat worked. The dentist sent him $346,000. Basically, Williams scammed his own scam partner by pretending to be the people in charge. The feds started catching on when multiple claims had the exact same wording, amounts, and formatting. They saw patterns and launched a full investigation. When Williams got wind of this, he started threatening witnesses, literally texting them and telling them to keep quiet. In 2022, he was arrested. And in 2023, the court hit him with 10 years in federal prison, plus an order to pay back over $2.5 million and forfeit over $650,000 in stolen money. Rumeal Robinson. Rumeal Robinson was once the hero of the 1989 NCAA championship, the guy who hit the game-winning free throw for Michigan. After that, he went on to the NBA and eventually retired. But instead of building a stable life, Robinson got caught up in shady business deals and ended up in federal prison. Here's what went down. After retiring, Robinson got involved in real estate and pitched a big project, a luxury resort in Jamaica. But he didn't have the money to build it, so he did something illegal. He bribed a bank loan officer at a small bank in Iowa to approve the fake loan. Now here's how it worked. Normally, to get a big loan, you've got to prove you're financially solid. You have to show the bank your income, assets, credit history, and a real business plan. But Robinson didn't have any of that. So he faked the paperwork, lied about his finances, made up the project details, and thanks to a bank officer he paid off, fake loan still got approved. He secured over $1.2 million, claiming it would go to the resort. But instead of investing the money, Robinson used it for himself. He bought a Bentley, some fancy clothes, and threw expensive parties. It was pure personal gain. One of the worst parts was that he secretly used his adoptive mother's house as collateral for one of the loans, meaning if he didn't pay, the bank could take her home, and they did. She ended up getting evicted, completely unaware of what he had done until it was too late. This dude was a straight demon. But the scam caught up with him. In 2010, Robinson was convicted of bank bribery, wire fraud, and lying to a financial institution. He got 6.5 years in federal prison and had to pay over $1.4 million in restitution and fines. Jontay Porter, once a promising NBA player with the Toronto Raptors, saw his career collapse due to a gambling scandal that led to prison. In early 2024, Porter became the subject of an NBA investigation after suspicious betting patterns emerged related to his performance. The league discovered that Porter had been providing confidential information about his health status to known sports bettors. He also placed bets on NBA games, including those involving his own team, the Raptors. Between January and March 2024, Porter placed 13 bets on NBA games using another person's account, making over $22,000 in winnings. Porter's scheme involved intentionally underperforming in games to benefit bettors who had insider information. In a game against the Los Angeles Clippers, Porter played just over 4 minutes before claiming an eye injury and exiting the game. He had informed his friend by a text message to hit under for the big numbers, indicating his plan to underperform. A similar incident occurred against the Sacramento Kings, where Porter left the game after less than 3 minutes, saying he doesn't feel good. The NBA's investigation concluded that Porter had violated the league's gambling guidelines. As a result, on April 17, 2024, the NBA banned Porter for life. Porter also faced federal charges and pleaded guilty. He is currently free on a $250,000 bond and is scheduled for sentencing on the 20th of next month. He faces a potential prison sentence ranging from no time to up to 20 years, with prosecutors estimating a sentence of approximately 3.5 to 4 years.